How's it going, everyone? We're here to check out the top skins for this week, and starting out we have the Sun-Faced set right here. But before we get into that, for anyone that's new, you might wonder, wait, how come all of these like 100 skins are not in the shop? These are just skins that have the potential to make it into the store. Does not mean that they actually will. So you just have to keep that in mind. The developer of the game picks out about 8 or so skins every week, and those are the ones that make it in. So check back on Thursdays to see which ones of these had the chance to make it. So first off here, as you can see, we've got a boonie hat and a bandana combo. And yeah, it has this nice little kind of like sun thing going on. If we can get up here, there you go, you can see the design on the top. Next, we have a burlap set for you, and I'm pretty sure you all saw it in the thumbnail. It is the comics burlap, and yeah, it's been some time since we have burlap sets pop in. I mean, they're every so often. I think the last one was maybe an Arctic set or something like that. I can't remember. But one way or another, it'd be nice to see another one pop in. And hey, this one would hide out pretty well in the snow, speaking of Arctic. Next, we've got a deer helmet and some hide boots. It's kind of a strange combo, but it's part of the polar bear set, and it gives you this kind of like polar bear skull, which is quite cool looking. Strapped right to it, with kind of like a, yeah, it looks like a belt. And then down here, you've got your polar bear claw hide boots. So definitely a very cool idea to go along with that set. I could see a lot of people liking this one. Next, we have a hoodie and pants set that look like a army man, and it's one of those little plastic army dudes, and I'm sure if you're from a certain time period, you'll definitely have played with these. Now, I'm not too sure. I mean, they still exist out there, but who knows? But one way or another, it should be recognizable to most people. Definitely a fun design. A lot of people have taken a throw at army designs, you know, toy soldiers, I should say, and this is definitely a cool translation to a hoodie and pants. Next up, we've got version 2 of the hard suit for the road sign. It is still one of the pieces that isn't, or one of the few pieces, I should say, that aren't accepted to the set, since this is technically 3 pieces. And pretty much they kind of just moved around the armor plating. I think the shoulders look a little more kind of intense. They kind of put the pads, or not pads, but the big plates towards the end there with some more strapping and so forth. I think it gives a little bit more tough look to it. Definitely know a lot of people would love to see this one pop into the store. Next, we've got the pizza road sign armor, and Helk did say this set was done after the clothing. I don't know if that meant the clothing was it or the whole set. Kind of made it sound like the whole set, but hey, it doesn't hurt for them to try, right? And you can see there's all these bites taken out of it everywhere, especially right here in front, and I think that just kind of gives it a different look to the rest of the coffee can sets. Or coffee can helmets, I should say, and road sign sets. And yeah, it's everyone really grabbed this set. I mean, the rest did amazing, so I can see this doing quite well if it made in the shop again. Next, our first high-qual set this week is a simplistic design but quite nice, and I could see a lot of people liking it just for the sheer fact that it is Arctic camo. And, well, it is therefore, of course, named the Arctic Protection Set, and it's a pretty straightforward set, but that camo is always something people love. Next, we have the next 2 pieces in the pirate set with the high-qual chest and face mask. And as you can see, it's still made out of tethered pieces of a map. Both sides. You can even see the map back here. Definitely a fun design and a pretty cool little addition to the rest of the set. I could see this one popping in since the rest of it has sold very well. Next up, we have our deployables, and we have the soft toy sleeping bag. And yeah, there you go. Kind of looks like a cat, but there's like hearts and like a weird zipper thing. Yeah, I don't know. One way or another, there you have it. Moving on over here, whoa, almost passed it. We've got a small box for you, and it should look pretty familiar because it looks just like the little boxes out and about that you can collect off of various Tier 1 monuments. So there we have that. I can see a lot of people wanting it for the same reason they have everything else from this collection, that it fits right into the game. Next over here, we've got some large boxes for you, and with the container skin coming out, of course, there's going to be a bunch that look like containers. So first up, we've got the med container box. Then we've got a white container box, red container box, and these are all from different people, orange container box. Then over here, we've got kind of something a little more different. It says the authentication required box, but it has kind of like a containery kind of construction-y look. Then over here we have another one that kind of has a container look to it. It is the scrap container version 2. And next we've got the space foil large box for you. It should look pretty familiar as we've gotten a few pieces of this set already accepted. Then over here we have the Grim Roar box, and as you can see it's made to look like a bunch of books on the side. So as you can see as you go around, it has the actual like pages, and then you have the spine of the books there with a beautiful design on the top. Then over here we have the large No Mercy box. Then we have a nuclear crate for you. Then over here we've got another box for you. This is the Gothic large box. Then we have a kind of more kind of tech looking box for you with the nuclear power box. So you got the nuclear waste and nuclear power. And lastly we've got the billboards gun box for you. Next we got a couple furnaces for you, and this one looks like it's made out of a couple of colored pencils all kind of glued together and then carved into the shape of this furnace. It's definitely a creative design that looks quite neat. Then over here we've got the next piece in the Otherworldly set, which has that kind of Adobe tone to it, but a very different kind of otherworldly vibe, thus the name. And then over here we've got a more kind of tiki furnace for you. I believe this one is the Sun Priest. There you go. Moving on, we have a locker for you, and this one here is the Abandoned Locker version 2, and as you can see it has a little light, so we'll be able to show you that here shortly once we kill the lights. Next we've got a rug, and this one is made to look like you can cover up the wall to look like sheet metal. So that's definitely a creative thing I could see a lot of people doing some tricky stuff with if it were to pop in the shop. Next, again, barricades are not supported, but hey, it looks really cool. This Adobe barricade does look quite awesome. You never know, devs might change their mind, but there you go. Adobe cement barricade. Moving on, we've got quite a few doors for you this week with the frog doors starting out here. Then we've got a cute little sheep jumping over the fence for you with the Sweet Dreams metal door. Next, we've got another one for you with the painted black sheet metal door. Not exactly the most creative name, but definitely a very creative looking door. Then over here, we've got another door for you, and it is the apartment door. And of course, the apartment number is 69, but there is a bit of a problem. It's not reversible with sheet metal doors, so that might be a killer right there. Next over here we've got a door that looks like it is a old music player, and it's the player sheet metal door. Next we've got a couple of double doors for you. The first one here is the Cowboy Saloon door, followed by a freaky kind of sheet metal scrappy conglomeration here with the Good Day Good Night sheet metal door. And then we've got a very kind of blue glowy with the Under Ice sheet metal door. Then, of course, we've got a couple containers for you with the containers of garage doors, I should say. Container garage door. Okay, this is just container garage door. Never mind. Then over here we've got shipping container garage door. Then over here we've got the docking area garage door. Nuclear missile silo. Then missile silo. Then over here we've got some cobalt art with the cobalt cargo garage door. Then we've got some neon with the nuclear neon. And last but not least, we've got a double armored door for you here with the armored X-ray room door. Let's go ahead and kill the lights. Oops, that's the wrong way. And we'll take a look at the glow. Definitely love the glow on the roller there. Then we got our double doors. The saloon there. Just simple red light on that sheet metal door. We have some glow on these. And then we can head down to our furnaces. Alright, so there's that glow on the locker. It's very faint glow, but nice. Enough to find it in the dark. Then we have our furnaces. Does have a little light up on the eyes there. Then we have our boxes. There's that glow on one of the nuclear boxes. Then we've got some lights on the scrap container box. This one has two versions, one with and one without. There we go. And then you can see the pad and the keyhole lights up on this one. First up, we've got a little Dobie hammer for you. Definitely fits right in with that theme and looks pretty good, I'd say. Then, with the anticipation of course, the container skins coming in, you have a container hammer. This one actually comes in a blue and a red variation. Then we've got another weird rock for you with the hamster rock. I'm still a little bit off with the fur. I know a lot of you guys comment on the capybara too. It's kind of meant to be a meme and so forth, but I feel like the fur could look a little better on these rocks. Then we've got a hatchet for you, and yeah, we have someone taking another strike at the kind of 3D printed look. So there's the hatchet, and of course you have to have the matching pickaxe. Then we've got a crossy for you here, and this one has quite a bit of cutout on it. This is the Bloodline crossbow, and yeah, as you'll see, it's got some cutouts throughout the whole body, kind of a skeleton frame to the stock. And same kind of going on with everything, honestly. There's that reload. And we'll take one more look at it there. Next, we've got a continuation in everyone's favorite banana set with the pump shotgun. And this is the pump shotgun nana, so there you go. Aiming down the sights here, you got a green tip. And let's go ahead and reload that there. Next, we've got a couple of pythons for you. This one here should look pretty familiar as it is part of the low polygon set. Aiming down the sights here, you've got a slightly different gray to the sight. Next, we've got another python for you, and this one's meant to look like it is made out of wood, and as well, therefore, the wooden python. Aiming down the sights here, you can see, again, a little bit of differentiation to the color of the sight there. And there's our reload. Next, we've got another python. I told you it's quite a few, and this one has a very trippy effect to it. This is the line metal python. And actually, where I'm living, they have a couple of statues like this, and they're even more trippy because you can see straight through them. Can't really do that with items in Rust, but they did a really good job of still capturing the same illusion. And yeah, there you go. It's definitely a very interesting look. I could see some people really loving or really hating this because it might mess with their head. Next, we've got a couple saps for you, and the first one here is part of course, the Venomous set, as you can see right there up on front, if you didn't recognize the colors and stripes already. Aiming down the sights, just plain iron sights, unfortunately. I wish they could have put a colored tip on that one. It would have been the perfect icing to this skin. Next, we've got another one for you, and this kind of has an old-fashioned kind of arcadey look to it. It is the Blur Sap, I guess. A little bit of a weird name there, but you got some flames and some bright colors. Aiming down the sights here, they unfortunately made the whole sights one color. Again, always remember, artists, it's really cool to have a different colored sight there. It makes the gun all the more wanted by most people. We're not quite done with our pistols. We've got another one for you, and this one has a little bit of a color gradient to it. This is the Transition Sap. Kind of has like a gold to purple. Aiming down the sights, you got a big old gold screw and some black sights for you. Next, we've got some more flames, and this one has what looks like a crazy centipede going around it. This is the Scratch Semi-Automatic. Aiming down the sights here, you got a little more flames, but again, just plain black sights. Then we've got an SMG for you. This one has this beautiful artwork on it with a little sun and so forth. It is part of the Celestial set. Also has a very nice golden trim to it, which you can see with the sights here. And there's that reload. Next, we've got an MP5 for you. It should be pretty obvious that this is from a Chemical Burn set, of course. There you go. As you can see, those chemical burns right in the side of it. Aiming down the sight, so you've got that kind of tan desert polymer kind of look for the tip. And there's that reload. Next, we've got some SARs for you. First one up has a very old, used up kind of military look to it. This is the Tank Armor SAR version 2. Aiming down the sights here, you've got the same kind of rusty, crusty looking sights. Next, we've got another SAR for you, and this one is part of the high qual set. So there you go. The whole thing looks like it's made out of high quality metal, and it's got these nice kind of little metal shards going along with it. Aiming down the sights there, and let's pump a reload. Next, we've got another SAR for you, and this one should look familiar as well, as it has a weird kind of glisten to it. This is the Under SAR, and as you can see, as light hits this, it has almost a holographic kind of reflection to the colors. Aiming down the sights have the same kind of effect that almost makes them look like they glow. It's definitely a very unique effect to a pretty sleek looking gun. Next, we've got another SAR for you, and this one's just straight up creepy. It's the Cobalt Express, and it's meant to look like some kind of demon train. And it's got some bright yellow sights to go along there, and I don't know if you can concentrate with that face staring at you, but if you can, hey, maybe this one is right up your alley. Next, we've got one more SAR for you, and this one is meant to look like the Adobe tier, so therefore it is the Adobe SAR. Definitely has a nice look that goes right with it. As you can see, it is stockless. Aiming down the sights, you've got, well, Adobe on Adobe. Would be cool if they maybe made the tip blue to go with the tile there. Next, we've got the first of our many AKs for you, and this one is extra hot for you. It is the Hot Chili AR. As you can see, there's the big old chili there. When you reload, you rip off the bottom half of his face and re-pop it back in there. Aiming down the sights, you got some iron versus red versus orange for the tips. All sorts of colors going on there with a nice little flame design on the back. Next, we've got another AR that's quite fiery, and it's got this beautiful fox drawn on the side of it. It is, well, the Fiery Fox. So, hey, there we go. I was going the right direction with the name there. Aiming down the sights, you've got a yellow tip against the iron sights and a little flame on the back. Next, we've got another AR, and this one is a little bit trippy as well. It's got a kind of hypnotic little design to it, and well, that is its name. Of course, the Hypnotic AR. Also has a nice little gold trim to it. Aiming down the sights, you've got a blue and gold and red sight with what almost looks like a guitar tab or maybe a weird fingerprint of that hypnotic pattern right there. Alright, so we do have a few more ARs for you, and this one here has a whole kind of like dragon-y kind of vibe going on. As you can see, it's got some wings on the back there, a very dark eye, and some dragon scales. Aiming down the sights, in case you didn't know it was a dragon, there's a little dragon head symbol, and the sights looks like they tried to go for a bit of gray on black for the sights, but it almost just looks like a lighter black on black. So it could use a little differentiation there. Next, we've got another one for you, and this is the Raider AR, I believe. Yep, just Raider. And as you can see, it has a little, hello, my name is Raider. And it kind of has like a graffiti urban look to it. Aiming down the sights, you've got a bright metallic-y kind of blue against the red. It almost looks silver depending on how the light hits it. And there's that reload. Next, we've got another one for you, and this one is all ready for the beach. The whole thing actually looks like it is made out of sand, which is what I think they were going for. So it's kind of like your version of a sandcastle assault rifle, more or less, if you go for that. Seashells and sea stars included. Aiming down the sights, you've got kind of a brown, a really dark brown versus the sand color, and a little sea star in the back. Next, we've got another beautiful art for you here with this crazy dinosaur, and it is the dinosaur AR. You get dinosaur AR? Yeah, there's the, yeah, I'm done. But they made me do it. Don't blame me. One or another, definitely really crazy looking. I think it's a Spinosaurus, or at least that's where they took their inspiration. Aiming down the sights here, you've got a dino footprint and some dark kind of iron sights versus the red tip there. Of course, when you reload, you pull off his bottom jaw and stick it right back in. Next, we've got one last AR for you, and this one definitely has kind of like an old, kind of beaten, worn look to it. This is the AR Loco. Aiming down the sights here, you've got a white with faded orange and black tip. And there's that reload. Definitely has a very like 70s vibe. I don't know if it's just the colors or the paint. I don't know, one way or another, definitely kind of feels like that. Then we've got another AR. I lied, that wasn't the last one, and this one is part of the Wave the Samurai collection. Unfortunately, so far, none of the pieces have made in, so maybe it might be time for the artist to try something a little bit different instead of the same art just on every weapon. But it is a pretty cool set. Aiming down the sights here, there is a lot of gold going on. Could maybe use a little bit of different color, maybe some white tips instead of black to really contrast with the gold. Last but not least, we have two LRs for you. This one is a very well done one, and it is the Oceanus LR by Milo. And yeah, it definitely has a very nice, shiny, clean look to it. A lot of people really like this set, but we haven't seen any pieces pop into the shop quite yet. Aiming down the sights, you can see it's blue versus gold, and then the tip's kind of like a dark aqua, but the light just kind of hits it weird. Maybe if that was more of a white, it would stand out. Much lighter color would work. But there is the reload on that one. And lastly, we have one more LR for you. This one has a very kind of industrial, military kind of look. It is the LR Black Camo. So there you have that. Some nice highlights with the red lines. And then aiming down the sights, you of course have red versus black for the sights there to go with the theme of the gun. So that does it, everyone. Sound off down in the comment section below which ones you're hoping to make it in this week the most and why. I always love to hear the feedback, even if it doesn't have anything to do with the skins, just to Rust in general, or if you want to say hi. And any of the stuff that you have for anyone else, I'll try to get it to them, like Hulk or the skin creators, as always. Thanks for watching, everyone. Stay rusty, and we'll see you on Thursday for what skins get in.